Welcome. It's not time yet. I have 2 minutes. Oh, yeah, let me go. Fix and adjust my hair. Welcome to the live stream. Amy Seukeran, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Life Coach, Canada. 6 o'clock. The 6 o'clock live stream. On Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. You never know. We're talking about housing, where we live. If we're safe and we have to relocate. If you read the title. It's now 6 o'clock. What are you worried about? Do you think I can't hear you through the window? What girl do you keep talking about? I keep hearing you out the window. Talking about a girl. One of these days, I think she's gonna off you. Do you hear what you keep saying? Making money, owning a house, your home, where you live, your future, changing homes or locations. Let me just type it in real quick. So, have you ever thought about moving? Going somewhere else to a new location? Hopefully I spelled it all right. It's going to be a fun stream today. Are they an hour? Thank you. Actual victims, right? Who are trying to get away, find a safe place to have their life. Okie dokie. The question, have you ever thought about changing locations? Right now, we're all in Malton, right? We know that. We're all clued into that by now. We're in Malton. How did you get your house in Malton? How did you get your home? What year did you get it? Whether it's an apartment, a house, or a rental. Trying to catch up, share on everything, make sure everybody can join in who needs to. Trying to move. Or if you have a house now, my advice is, right, save. Try to save as much as you can while you have a house. And then when you know you have the place in Toronto or wherever you're going, if you saw the posts, you saw all those buildings, right? That's Mississauga. They're all about 17. And then Brampton, Bramalea, downtown Toronto. I didn't want to live in Toronto. That's why that wasn't an option for me. But yeah, there's lots of places, right? What's Peel Region? Well, again, my subsidy, right, is for Peel Region. So I have to stay in Peel Region and live in Peel Region. Those are my boundaries. I'm sure you could get whatever transferred. That's not the point of my live stream, is it? What do you have a housing worker for? No, I'm not your free service. It is a joke. You got paid. You had workers getting paid, and I'm going to point it out every single minute of every day. You're going to go over the services one by one. What does SHIP do? What does PATH do? What does multi-neighborhood services? What is it for? Ooh. How about which one? Yeah, making money. Do you understand that? You're playing pretending life coaches. Making what? Money to do what? I'm stuck here in this unit and I can't even work from home, make money. I'm on ODSP. I have lifelong nausea. You're sitting here smoking in your units inside the building, but I have to go outside. And when I sit outside on the rock, you're doing what to me? You want to go over why I wouldn't do something to you? Why your money's different? Why I shouldn't get every penny back? Okay, let's go over the rent increase since you keep pushing people. The increase is for my next lease, right? The new lease. It would. 177804. So how many of those buildings that I posted? I'm going to go over and recap. Those are all in Mississauga, right? Mississauga, rich and fancy, right? Nobody can live there. The joke. The joke. This is a studio. How many of those say one bedroom? Let me hear the joke. How many of them have air conditioning? Go, let me hear the joke again. How many of them have a washer and dryer? Oh, if you actually got off your you-know-what and looked. It is the joke, right? Why have you been sitting here? Five different listings for buildings, apartment buildings in Mississauga. They're all Mississauga that I posted today, just randomly at about 17. Yeah, convince me why. Malton, for what reason? I see no future here, right? You destroyed everything I did, my business, my nonprofit, my name. You have to know at least where, right, in Toronto, an area, or if you look by price, it doesn't matter about the area. Depends, the same way, right? If you're going by price, you can live anywhere. If you have a specific area, then you have to go by the area, what the prices are. Just keep calling the worker. Your worker is the one, right, where you send all the forms. It tells you it takes months, right? When you apply, it tells you it takes months for ODSP. Well, cheaper in what way? Rent could be cheaper, right? But if you can't afford groceries because the grocery store prices are too high, what are you going to do? Some places? Oh, is it? The cat. You're talking to me right now. We usually go to the food bank. That's real good. Why do we use the food bank? When you're sitting here texting my phone, telling me I'm garbage, telling me about what? I'm poor? And then you come onto here telling me you use the food bank? What do you expect from me? I usually go to the food bank because I don't always have enough money to get groceries. So why can't I do the same? Why are you telling me I'm poor? What if I go to the food bank because I can't always afford groceries? I want to hear the difference. I don't text you bad things, Amy. You don't think that's right. You don't think what's right. You came onto my live stream and you don't think something is right? Well, let's hear what it is. For who? So again, if I could be making money from my unit, from my apartment, I could be saving, right? A down payment for a house. So I've been living here since January 31st, 2024. Do you know how much I got to save for a down payment for a house, to own a house? Maybe it's a joke to you guys. I keep explaining this, right? I don't care anymore. The line between texting somebody something mean was crossed a long time ago. That's not what you've been doing to me, texting me mean things. That's by a long stretch, right? Who are you trying to fool? Texting me mean things. How do you plan on celebrating Halloween this year? Last year, I bought a bunch of things from the dollar store and made treat bags to give out to kids on Halloween. What am I going to do this year? When I figure it out, really? What? My favorite holiday used to be Christmas. But guess what happened to that? Yeah, if we go back to 2019. Well, I was fine with my dog, right? We used to spend Christmas, put up our tree. So 2019, November, I was in the shelter, right? July, I was in the shelter, call for shelter. So yeah, I didn't celebrate that Christmas. This 2024 is when I moved in here, right? And I bought that white Christmas tree. So that was supposed to be the first one from then that I was celebrating Christmas. But so far, so good, right? You did a real good job. The whole world is going to watch this. You come onto what? Why I want to move out of Malton before something happens, really, and I go to jail? That's usually the end result I see. Why would you rely on another person? The whole point of my live streams, recovery, is getting away, right? Taking your life back, being independent. Why would you need to rely on another person? Let's go back to when you were empowering women. What were you empowering them to do? What's financially independent? Yeah, now let's go over it. You were teaching them to be independent, be financially independent. So what does that mean, financially independent? Pay for their own things? Like what? Their own clothes, their own makeup, their own shoes, coat, what? Their own jewelry? Like what? Their own Pandora bracelet? That's pretty pricey, right? You don't want a man paying for that for you and wearing it for the rest of your life. You'd probably throw it soon. So what else? Yeah, let's talk about the Amber Alert. Same year ago, right? That baby was born. 1 year. A 1-year-old. Did you? You ever been to that plaza? The Winners? The Walmart right there? That's not the same one, no? Where that all happened? I imagine that. So both the parents are gone. Those are the parents, right? We established that so far. Today, 24 hours later, is it? And we saw a story. I saw a new story with the grandmother. 4 kids, right? They had. Where are they? If those are their 4 kids, they're still gone. Oh, maybe I'll watch it again and understand it. You understand what? If you called for an Amber Alert, it's the same police? Those are the same police you keep calling? If it was your kid, which one? After telling me I'm recording your kids, which one? Do you understand now? Do you want to go over what happened to the lock on the door? I have to walk around to the front entrance because I can't open my curtains because I can't open my window because. When I was helping people with substance use and addiction. That was my job, my problem. When I was helping with housing, when I was helping with violence against women and domestic violence and intimate partner violence, I was getting paid. That was my job. Narcissistic abuse, right? Mental health, what about that one? Was that my job then? I was getting paid for that? Let's go over again. For 6 years, you what? Yes, the same. All of them. The same Instagram. They're on all the Molten services. What were they doing? Events to do what? I saw back to school. I saw family events. Remember the backpack event when I wanted to do the event? You went and took that and gave out the same thing, backpacks, and then did coloring pages. So explain them. If these are the same children texting me, explain it. Why? Narcissism leaked into me from the outside. I wonder if it was selfish of me to feel such ways. Here, let me help you. How many of you have kids in the building? You forgot that was the police car, right? That passed me while I was when I was holding up my key. Yeah, you're laughing now? Did you watch the video with the police officer? And your kid there? Your 2 kids? Said I'm recording them? So which one did you find funny? If they turn up somewhere? What if somebody in Malton does something while they go to school? You're going to take back calling the police? Which one are you going to take back? I had my own nonprofit organization that I opened myself. You destroyed and destroyed and destroyed, telling me I have a fake business. Why? Why shouldn't I take it out back on Malton? It doesn't matter where I move. That was my business. Why shouldn't I take it out on you? Why shouldn't I destroy you? The charities, they're supposed to help people. So even worse, right? Charities are destroying other charities and other people's businesses. So let's go into Malton, why they can't have any more businesses. If you do the same thing, what are the businesses in Malton? You have a dollar store, a drugstore, a grocery store. So how is it not the same? You want me to what? Spend the rest of my life doing what? You destroyed every chance every time I tried to open anything. What is the future? This is an apartment. If I'm trying to save to buy a house somewhere, what do you think the future is? I'm going to do what? You keep coming on here telling me to get a job. Get a job to do what? I'm 46 on ODSP. Why? You guys hang out and drink and do drugs. Why should I get a job? You're coming and hanging out, going in the garbage dumpster where I live in the apartment I pay for. Why? Why shouldn't I do something to you? I spent 6 years homeless because Malton called the police on me, right? How do you think I ended up homeless? So let's go over this again. If that was July 15th, 2019, who called? How did they call? What was it? What did they say to the police? Well, who were the neighbors then? If you were filming me doing the same thing and I didn't know, that was the same basement, right? The basement door. You understand I had a dog, so the door was open because the dog went in and out. That's the door to the backyard. It's the basement, right? The dog stayed in the backyard. Does that make logical sense to you, people? This is 6 years later, 2025. I was homeless. I didn't get a chance to mourn my dog because I don't know what happened to him, right? They said it's better I don't know. Is that what? Because I was where? In Bramalea in a rental and he was in Malton? And nobody will tell me the truth? Yeah, they had paperwork for which one? He went to a hospital. He went where? And he never came back. Yeah, bits and pieces. And you're sitting here actually looking at me with your what? Well, let's hear. Where were you in 2019? Did you hang out at the mall? Did you hang out at the library? Where were you doing? What were the organizations open then? I went over. I opened this business in 2019, right? March. I sold Epicure. I sold Regal. I sold Pampered Chef. I sold Avon. Do you remember all those? All those years? So let me hear. Why are you talking to me now? Let me hear if you did what in 6 years. I came back to Malton, remember? in 2023 after I was discharged from Cawthra Shelter. Take a good look. Say you again. Let me hear I what? I was born in Malton in 1979. I'm 46. I what? Yeah, you got away is right. Think good about this. Race, religion, all your nonprofits. Yes, you are. Telling me about Black Lives Matter and Black excellence. You're going to show everybody why. You what? You were born where? You live where? A different Malton? Then you're going to explain it to me. I just told you from 1979. Halfway into the stream. Okay, let's go over this one since we're talking about Malton. Who went to Ridgewood and Malton? Anybody? Anybody go to Ridgewood? For kindergarten to grade 5? Was anyone in the choir? Did anyone do the concerts, Christmas concerts? Your class did it? Do you remember the nights they had? Was it family fun nights where you'd go and play games? Anybody remember Elmer the Elephant? And the Elmer flag at your school? Do you remember why they lowered the flag? I went to Lancaster. It was a senior public school. 6, 7, and 8. Grade 6, grade 7, and grade 8. After grade 5. That's what Lancaster was when I went. Morning Star was a high school, grade 9. Now it's not a high school, right? Younger kids go there. Maybe all of Malton doesn't know that. Morning Star is not a high school anymore. Yeah, we're going back to 2019, 2018, what you were doing in Malton before you involved me. 2017 even, since I volunteered with the food bank. What year was that? When I was an Epicure consultant, and then they opened the kitchen. Remember that? The community kitchen? Me going over all of that? Epicure consultant, right? Making meals, spices, meal planning to catch everybody up what an Epicure consultant is, or Pampered Chef, or Sunset Gourmet. Yeah, when you see all of those posts now. What else? Housing, your home, safety, your future, saving for a house, what you take with you, what you leave behind, what you need to take if you get a storage space. That's an option, right? If you have to move. I don't know if all of you know about that, but I rented the storage space. So I kept everything in the storage space. So if you don't know, right, you're looking for apartments or trying to move or trying to change. If you have the money to rent the storage space, at least you know all your things are there. Then it's just you and my backpack I had. So I had what I needed in the backpack, and at least I'm free to go where I need to go. I know all my stuff is safe. Nobody's going to go and take it. Nobody's going to mess with it. So for everybody, right? You don't know anybody's situation in case it helps. Doesn't matter where you're moving to. Why would it matter where you're moving to? If you needed to leave at the end of the month, say you were getting a deal or something like that, and you had to put your notice in or empty your unit at the end of this month. Today's the 22nd, right? If the 31st was the last day, you had to empty your apartment. What do you think the best, quickest, smartest option is? Not to get a storage unit and put everything there? At least you have it for a month, right, to decide what to do? And you have from today, October 22nd, till the 31st to put everything in there? If you had to empty your unit? Well, that's my experience, right, from the difficulties I had. I'm not going to get into the whole experience because that includes mental health workers. Yep, it's a conflict of interest. He might still work there. Canadian Mental Health Association. You think I'm making this up? So, yeah, in case, that's one option, right? Some of you have friends. Some of you just have a suitcase. What do you have if you were living somewhere? Well, if I plan to move right now, I have to give 2 months notice, and I wanted to do it in November. I know I have till what, January? So if I found another apartment, I had to get all my subsidy, all my workers on the same page, apply, get a credit, and all that stuff done, applications. Do you think I would just go to one, or I would go to as many buildings as I could? Are we alienating our audience again? No, I'm trying to figure out, right, who belongs here. I'm not alienating anybody. My audience who need the help, find the help. Alienating? What is my audience? Who do you think my audience is that I'm alienating? Maybe I should move to building 4. Do you think that's a good idea? Move to building 4 here? Since I'm in building 1? What if I do that? What if I try to just move to building 4? You think it'd make a difference? Do you think you have the mental abilities to facilitate a move? We're going to find out after this live stream. Same management, right? Building 1 to 4. Do I have the mental abilities to facilitate a move? 7555 Goreway Drive, apartment 47. I want this on record. Every unit, every building, like you said. Do I have? You wanted to be spokesman for the buildings, right? Management and whoever. Do you think you have the mental abilities to facilitate a move? We're going to go back to how I got in here before I destroy you. Do you remember when I said you asked for everything you get? You made your bed, lie in it? Yeah, let's go over the mansions. Can you rent those or do you have to own them? Oh, we're going to eliminate all, right? Where else do you live? What does all the apartments in Malton mean? So how many did you find? I want you to hear this clear and understand what you're doing so everybody can understand this at once. So you pretty much did nothing, and the hardworking people of Ontario paid for you in full. It's funny that that commenter, the name is Natalie Hart, Ward 5, right? Is that being mean? Natalie Hart is a counselor, right now of Malton, and she was the BIA Business Improvement Association, so responsible for the businesses and beautifying Malton. So if I was a nasty, mean person like you keep telling me, right, I would mention the mayor of Mississauga and why I want to move to Brampton, just to rub it in real good. I bet you had a worker who found that building. Yeah. Take a good look, Malton. Amy Seukeran, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Life Coach, Canada. Doesn't matter where I go. I'm not going to turn into somebody else. $40. I'm going to take a break. You keep thinking of questions regarding, right? Regarding narcissistic abuse, all of a sudden, regarding. Regarding. Just reading the comments, catching up. Give me a minute. If everywhere's the problem, then in the end, you have to start looking at yourself. Do you hear that? I have to start looking at myself. Write that down, Malton. Amy Seukeran. I have to start looking at myself. The things I do, I'm the problem. Did you write that down? I did everything to you? You're going to write a list now of what I did to you. Did you hear me, Malton? Write my name at the top. AMYSEUKERAN. Now write out everything I did to you. Number them. For everybody in Malton. This sounds like a narcissist, honestly. You're diagnosing people, are you? Garbage? You filmed my children threatened to shoot my window with 200 bullets. Perfect. Just hold on. Take a good look at me again, Malton. Amy Seukeran, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Life Coach. Worldwide. Narcissistic Abuse Recovery. Narcissistic Abuse Specialist. I opened the business in 2019. You heard the word? You know something about the word narcissist now? You ever call my name in Malton? You gonna show me why? Do you remember that one? One by one. Got it? Okay. Everybody in Malton now? From 2019, when I opened the business, right before. You heard the word NPD, narcissist, where? You're diagnosing who? Because what? What are you diagnosing? Just make sure, right? All of you. It's not going to change. You can go back in time and remember where I was and who I was in Malton from 1979. That would work. You could do that. You could go back. Remember that intergenerational trauma that you were doing? You could do that. But tomorrow's not going to change. I'm still going to be here, the same person. Angie Atkinson taught me about narcissistic abuse in 2016, way before you got the idea to run around and play life coach. Let's hope so. I'm not diagnosing, but I'm asking what certifications do you have to be a narcissistic abuse recovery life coach? Every time from 2019 you saw somebody pass away, that's my certification. All the violence on the subway, that's my certification. 2019 to 2025, right here, right now, today, that's my certification. Everybody, every child you saw dead, that's my certification, Malton. Well, let's go back to remember when Cawthra Shelter, you were accusing them of being narcissists? Let's go over that one. Anybody stay at Cawthra Shelter? Who was the narcissist to you? I'm not going to waste a whole another live stream. So who was the narcissist in Cawthra Shelter? All of you that stayed there. Yeah, Malton's going to catch up. I told you. Where are you going to go? Yeah, I can't finish until I start. Let's go. How many of you? Who was the narcissist in Cawthra Shelter, since you know the word? You wanted to sue them for what? What did you want to sue Cawthra Shelter for? Go, let me hear this again. I was a victim of narcissistic abuse. What kind of certificate should I have? Where would I get it from? What do you want me to have? What certificate? One that certifies you to handle victims of narcissistic abuse. Why don't you hold your breath for that one? One that certifies me to handle victims of narcissistic abuse. Let's go over mental health. What do their certificates qualify them to handle? Victims of what? Mental health disorders? Like what? Yeah, now. Psychology certificates to start. Okay, so what do psychology certificates qualify you to handle? Victims of what? How long do you go to school to get a psychology degree? Then where can you work? What about psychiatry? A psychology degree takes about 4 years. Okay, so after you go to school for 4 years, how do you get experience with the victims? You what, volunteer? Where do you volunteer? How do you get experience with victims? What about Canadian Mental Health? Is that volunteer? Is that a nonprofit? So how do they hire? Just based on your resume? Or just based on volunteers? Which one? Yeah, let's go for security. Where do you see security? At the hospital? At the malls? At the Tim Hortons? Where else? What do you think they're there for? Who have I actually helped? And don't say all the people who have been stabbed and mauled and the cops get called on you always, Amy. Who have I helped? <sighs> 2019, right? My whole life in Malton. What I should do to you. You want to go over the story again one last time? The Amber Alert? IPV? What was the IPV part? The female or the male? The two of them? The parents? That was the IPV part? We know the Amber Alert was the baby, right? They're still dead, right? I'm a single female. I have nothing to worry about, right? No worries at all. I can do whatever I want all day long. I don't help anybody, like you said, right? I just sat here and did events and drank alcohol for 6 years, pretending I was under religion, right? At the community center holding events for children. That's what I did. Right? Malton? Where's the closest flea market to here? If anybody wanted to open anything and they couldn't rent a stall in the mall. Do you know where there's a flea market? That Brampton one was a good one, right? Nice and big. What happened to it? Just disappeared? Went under for COVID? Was it a legal thing, a paperwork, a contract thing? Maybe a lease thing? Money? Rules? I mean, the whole 3 buildings? Let's go with the Walmart. It's a really bad COVID, right? You guys lost all your jobs. Imagine how many jobs in Malton that Walmart provided. They had overnight shifts, day shifts, night shifts, all kinds of shifts, right? Part-time jobs. Imagine how many people in Malton that gave employment to when that Walmart was here. I'm going on about employment and making money and getting a job in Malton instead of hanging out and annoying people all day, making people want to off you, calling this place a waste, right? You're the one calling Malton a waste, not us. That's because I wasn't here for 6 years, buddy. Do you understand? So what did you do in 6 years? It was 2019 when I lived on Netherwood, right? I had the dog. I took him for a walk every day. I was fine functioning. So let me hear. What happened? I'm going to end this live stream here. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my night. 7:00 p.m. Hope you learned something. Amy Seukeran, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Life Coach, Canada. Narcissistic personality disorder. NPD. The actual mental disorder, right? In the DSM-5. The actual mental disorder in the book is called NPD. That's the mental disorder. The narcissist is the one with the mental disorder. Do you understand that now? The DSM-5, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. That's the book, right? That all the mental disorders are in. So when you open it, you see NPD, narcissist in there, right? NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. That's the disorder. So if you're a narcissist, you're the one with the mental health disorder. Do you understand? Not the victims, the narcissist. Enjoy your night, everybody. See you next time.